Hello and welcome to this session of the medical debate where we're going to be talking about the issues with the NHS funding. So how is the NHS structured? This is quite a difficult and complicated structure, but we're going to try and get through it. Also, this is quite a interesting and relevant topic to know about. So I highly recommend all medical aspirants learn about this. So there's something called the fund cycle. So how does the funding reach the NHS? HMS Treasury, this is the step one. So firstly, funds are collected by the government through many processes, such as income tax, fiscal policy in general, national insurance, and then the government splits this up and sets a budget for each governmental department, one of these being the Department of Health and Social Care. Expenditure in 2019. So last year, 2 years ago, this department spent the equivalent of £2,300 per person, or £130.3 billion in total overall. £124.4 billion on daily spendings like salaries and medicine, and the remainder on capital investments like buildings. But it gave 112.7 billion of this money to the NHS. What percentage of the money did it give to the NHS? So that's a relatively simple maths question. So we're going to move on, but you can probably understand what the idea is. Okay, so NHS England spendings. So NHS spent £28.2 billion on services that take place nationally, like cancer treatment research and cash reserves or reserve funds. But then £84.5 billion of this was given to local clinical commissioning groups, or CCGs. And this is where it gets a tiny bit difficult. So what exactly are CCGs? CCGs, or clinical commissioning groups, are NHS organisations set up by the Health and Social Care Act of 2012 to organise delivery of NHS services in England. The members of these CCGs are local GP practices, and they govern a certain designated area covering from 100,000 people to over 1 million people, and they use 2/3 of the NHS budget. They commission healthcare services like mental health services or urgent or emergency care. The amount each CCG receives depends on the depravity of each area, the average age of each area, the life indicators in each area, and the population of that specific area. The CCGs then assess the needs of these areas and buy as many services as they can with their allotted budget. There are also private providers of services. So, for example, if private hospitals might choose to buy their own services, and they might have more money to spend than a certain hospital does because they're not allotting money for each hospital. So there are different ways to receive healthcare. So there are also some ethical concerns which are raised. I'm going to talk to them about now, and these are regarding to saving funding if we don't know how much we will get. Smokers and alcoholics should be denied free treatment and should also be treated last. That is a statement, and we would like you to discuss for and against using the principles of ethics relating it to funding. I'm going to give you guys, you guys can pause the video if you guys want to answer this question. Feel free to just pause it and then come back to it later on. But there's many important views you can take. So if you would like to pause and try out this question, pause now. Okay, so we're going to go through some possible rebuttals or possible points for. So for example, possible point against everyone. For example, the justice. Everyone should be treated fairly and equally within legal rights, and everyone should be allowed free healthcare. The NHS is free healthcare for everyone, so they should not be treated. They should not be treated last, and they should not be denied free treatment. You could also say that smokers and alcoholics should not be treated last because, we don't know. It's possible that the reason they have made those choices is because they are suffering from some other health condition. So, so discriminating based on that can actually be more difficult for them, and actually could compound the harmful effect. So there's lots of points against, and you could also say that because one possible point for is that if people are making these choices to harm their health intentionally, then why should they be given free treatment if they're not actively trying to help out their health? So it's quite a difficult debate, and there's lots of points on either side. But again, you should relate it to the 4 pillars of ethics and think about both sides of the argument before making a judgment. As always, we would love to hear what you guys have to say. So please remember to put some answers in the comment section. Let us know what you think. And remember to put some reasoning behind why you said that as well, if you can. Here's another statement that you guys can try. People who require treatment after getting in an avoidable altercation should not be allowed free treatment and should be treated last. Discuss for and against using the principles of ethics relating to funding. So again, if you wish to try this, pause the video now. If you would like to just watch, then we can just watch and try and answer the questions ourselves. Okay, so the 1.4 could be that people who require treatment after getting in an avoidable altercation should not be allowed free treatment. And the word it says is avoidable. So if, for example, a fight erupts and it's avoidable and you don't have to get involved and you can leave unscathed and unharmed, then possibly these people who are not making the wise decision to get out of the fight and leave the fight should not be treated or should not be allowed free treatment because they chose to get in a fight. But then in an opposite scenario, it could be that you don't know what caused that fight and what happened. So it's again, without ascertaining that person's reasoning for getting into that fight or how unavoidable it was, sorry, we cannot fully make that decision for them. Also, again, for justice, everyone should be treated equally and fairly, and people in fights actually might be harmed more than other people, so they should definitely not be treated last, and they should be given free treatment. And so there's lots of ethical views to think about. So we hope you enjoyed today's session on the issues with the NHS funding, and feel free to contact us at The Medical Debate on Instagram or email us at themedicaldebate@gmail.com. As always, we have webinars every single Saturday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. where sometimes we have guest lectures, but we also talk about medical aspects and other medical ethics topics. Feel free to get involved in those. If you wish to sign up for those, then you can email us and we will add you to the link. Thank you very much for attending this session, and we hope to see you in the next one.